Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. I am your host, Sean Connors. Today we have another 757 Renaissance Man to talk to, Mr. Domenick Epps. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm great, man. Fantastic, brother. Fantastic.
Man, I love what you guys are doing over there at the Wall Street Cafe. Before we get into it, give everybody a brief synopsis of who you are, what you do, which I don't know. You do so much. I don't know how brief we can do it, but
yeah, I'll make it brief. I'll make it very brief.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, sir. My name is Domenick Epps. I go by the People's Agent. I'm happily married to my amazing wife, Lakita Queen Epps. We have 3 amazing daughters, and born and raised right here in Suffolk, Virginia, the greatest neighborhood in the world, Saratoga. So, principal broker, co-owner, Victory Allegiance Realty, Wall Street Cafe, and a list of other businesses. So, it's pretty much it, man.
Man, I love what you guys are doing down there. And be 100% transparent, the first time I was there was a few weeks ago when you guys had the crypto party.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
And to be even more honest, it had been maybe 10, 15 years since I've been in downtown Suffolk.
What? Come on, bro.
Man. I used to hang out there a lot. I'm from Chesapeake, so I used to hang out there from time to time. But I live in Hampton, so I've been on the peninsula. So it's been a while since I went down there, and it's really a great transformation, man.
Right. Absolutely, it is.
And I'd love to see that you're right there in the middle of it.
Yes, sir, man. Right downtown. Yep.
So how long have they been developing that area?
Well, they've been doing it slowly but surely. I'd probably say the past 10 years we've seen, transformation. There's a lot that they still have in the comprehensive plan that have yet to come to fruition, and who knows if it will, right? But I will say it's been some great things, and there are some things that's coming in the near future down the pipeline in regards to what the city is planning to do. And we're just excited to be a part of it.
I like to see that there are a few of us, and when I say us, I mean Black people, in the mix of that, where it doesn't seem like gentrification, like in some parts of the nation right now.
Well, it just depends on which side of the tracks that you're going on, right? So that was happening across the tracks, but it ceased, right? And so the amazing thing about where we are on West Washington Street is that this is filled with, Black and minority business owners, right? This strip right here where we are. But the downside to that is the majority of the owners don't own the building. So, there are tenants, right? And we've had these conversations, and prayerfully business owners will understand the significance of actually owning the building. Because what good is it for you to go in, you pay for your build out, right? Which means you are now increasing the value of the landlord's building. And then they in turn raises your rent, say every 5 years or so, even shorter than that, right? For the improvements that you made. And if you fail to pay that increase, then you get evicted and they put somebody else in that benefits from the hard work that you have put in. So that's the downside, is that, we're now, working towards Black-owned, minority-owned property owners, and not just tenants that has businesses occupying the space.
Nice. Yeah. So one thing that I love about you and your brand is you are an entrepreneur that lives the brand. Everything about you says Wall Street.
Right.
And that's a great thing. 'Cause some people, they put the brand on, but they take it off at night when they're at home.
Right. And I just want to clarify even that statement because you're certainly correct. Everything about me says Black Wall Street. Right?
Yes.
You
Okay.
know, and so I don't want anybody to get confused and because they don't see me with the suit and tie on and say, hey, that don't look New York Stock Exchanges, right? But no, everything does says Black Wall Street. You're absolutely correct.
So let's talk about that because I have a connection to Black Wall Street. And I know you and your family just came back from Tulsa.
Right.
Um, and for all that don't know, Black Wall Street was a great booming economic community in the early 1900s that was predominantly black
Right.
and everything black, from the banks to the schools to the theaters, everything black. And
Yeah.
it was destroyed in a riot in 1921. Well, my great grandmother is a survivor of Black Wall Street. And if it wasn't for this lady hiding her, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, when you shared that with me, man. Matter of fact, I think you shared it with me the day of the
Of the
event.
event.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. And that's powerful, man. Um, but the stories to know, what took place, and let's just be honest, man, they were hated on,
Hmm.
like literally hated on, right? They were hated for their success. Here it is during the Great Depression period in America, when the economy was extremely low. We're talking low, what we experienced with the pandemic low, right? But Black America, in the sense of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the Greenwood district, was thriving, not surviving,
Hmm.
was thriving, right? Was thriving, and so that alone created haters, and they eventually found a way to not just attempt to destroy, but to take over. And so it's something that happened right here in America, right? It was domestic terrorism. That's what it was, to be, quite frank with you. And it's history that America has tried to erase, but it has been resurfaced. And so I'm glad that people are taking the time to study and to learn and to know what took place, right? This has been a journey for a few years now for me in studying in preparation for our cafe. And so it was quite an honor to be able to walk the grounds and to physically put my eyes upon the land um, that O.W. Gurley and J.B. Stratford and others put a lot of work in.
So how did that become the inspiration for your business?
So the business, the idea was a God idea, right?
Hmm.
I can't take any credit for it, right? I know nothing about restaurant business. I don't know anything about a cafe, right? My first job was working at Wendy's, and I got fired from there when I was 16 years old, right? So I don't know anything about the restaurant business. But of course, my partner and I, we have a real estate company. We've been successful with that for a few years. And I don't know, it was just one of those visions that God gave me in regards to it. And I just, write the vision, make it plain. So I just wrote it down. And from writing it down, I just started visualizing, what it would look like. And the things that we do in the cafe are things that I've already been doing anyway, right? As far as building my own portfolio or the portfolio for our family, for our businesses, right? So when it comes to the different streams of investing, these are things that was actually doing anyway. And so that's it, man. God gets the glory for it. I can't take no credit for it. I just being obedient to the call, to be honest, and that's where we are.
Well, I can tell that it was a very clear call because there are a lot of things in your cafe that are done quite intentional,
Right.
down to the mural on the wall and the people on the mural. And I think that's one of the greatest assets of your cafe.
Right.
We're not even getting into the food yet, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Absolutely.
aesthetic that you created was incredible. And then when you take the time to look and to see and to research the people that you've chose to display on your wall, it's great. And it takes me back to the Spike Lee movie,
Mm.
when it was in Sal's, and Sal's had all the white people on the wall.
Right.
Now
Right.
that you're in this position, you can put who you want on the wall, and I applaud you for that.
Yeah. Imagery is so important, right? Because we have grown up, and let's just let's call a spade, right? Let's think about the images we saw in our houses, right? There was a white Jesus, right? That was in everybody's house.
Hold on, though. My mama didn't play that.
Oh, okay. Well,
We
we
always
had
had a black Jesus, and she
okay.
wouldn't let my little sister have white baby dolls,
Gotcha,
which back
gotcha.
then was a struggle, though.
Right. So we had a white Jesus. There was a white Santa Claus, right? And
Mhm.
then you had a picture of Malcolm and Martin. I
Mhm.
think everybody had a picture of Malcolm and
Right.
Martin, right? And we also had the old Good Times photos, right? But here's the thing, right? Um, we know as a child that Malcolm and Martin was murdered,
Right.
right? Now we know what Jesus did, right, and what he went through. But we also know, the resurrection power, right? But we didn't have any other images of Black success,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, because
Now,
technically all of them were murdered.
pretty much,
Mhm.
right? Pretty much. So, I grew up as a kid, man. I was a Langston Hughes fan, right?
Hey.
Yes, sir, man. I was a Langston Hughes fan, man. Uh, I used to write poems. I used to read his poems, and that was my thing growing up, right? But so success to us growing up, especially where I grew up at, it was you was in music,
Mhm.
or you played a sport,
Mhm.
or you were hustling drugs. It was those three, right? That was it. Your success was dependent upon either you're gonna be on the corner, right? You're gonna have a microphone in your hand, or you're gonna dribble or run a football.
Mhm.
That was it, right? And so moving forward, when I got my real estate license and, success began to come as far as in the business of real estate, that was one of the things that I wanted to do was to change the mindset of our children. So I wanted, young Black kids to see me, in a suit and tie and to see me doing certain things. And I would go, when I got invited to be a career day speaker at the elementary schools, right? It was amazing when I had children to say, "Hey, I want to be a real estate agent," right? Or I want to be like the people's agent, right?
Mhm.
Or when they do their vision boards, we used to have vision board parties, and I put my business card on their vision board, right? Like those things, man, made me smile because say, "Hey, listen, I know when I was a child, I wasn't looking up to somebody that dresses like that and doing something to that degree, right? I was looking at the other guys and what they were doing, right? So when you walk into our cafe and you see, and we strategically have it to where you see it's diverse, right? You see Black and white, but know that just as there is a successful white man, there is a successful Black man as well, right? And so that's what images does to you. It lets you know that it's possible. It lets you know that you too, because somebody that looks like you have done it, that you too can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Roger Bannister rule, right? Nobody thought that the 4-minute mile can be accomplished until they found somebody that did it. And
Mhm.
now that you know that it's been done, everybody's breaking the rule now, right? So that's how it works.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you were into real estate first, and then you got the cafe, and you just said that you weren't a restaurant person. So, how did? Well, we already know it was divine intervention, but how
Right,
did
right.
you come up with the concept and the menus?
Facebook.
Okay.
Social media, man. Once we put it out there what we were doing, we went to social media and said, hey, this is what we're doing, and what would you all like to see on the menu, right? And of course, we had so many different things that people had mentioned. My partner Chris, he's a former Olive Garden manager as well as the Spirit of Norfolk, right? So he has the background of the restaurant industry. And so his background really have allowed us to go to the next level. And I have friends. I got good friends that came in alongside me to assist in regards to what to do and how to do it. So it was a very learning experience for us all, but it's been very rewarding.
I like to say that my comparison to you guys is Black Starbucks,
Mm.
because you have a great coffee menu. You have a great, it's not like full dinner food, but it's food to get you, some substance.
Right, right, right,
And
right.
people come there to have meetings in like a business environment like you would do at a Starbucks.
Right.
So
You know,
I'm proud to have, and I'm trying to make excuses to get over there a little bit more.
we coming to you though. We
Okay.
coming to you. We coming to you. I got a good partner over there, man, that has this building he's been telling me about. So here's our vision.
Mhm.
Everywhere there is a Starbucks, there's going to be a Wall Street cafe,
Okay. I'm
right?
here for it.
Yeah, yeah. So we coming. Trust me, trust and believe. We are coming. We're going to be on your side. We'll
Awesome.
be
So tell me about the real estate journey, because I know one of the things that you specialize in is flipping houses now.
Yeah.
So tell me how you got into that.
Well, I try to make it short. Well, just to inform you of something else, real estate wasn't even my number one choice. Music was my first choice. That was
Okay.
my first, right? I wanted to be successful in the music industry. That was the main thing I wanted to do. I wanted to be the next Russell Simmons,
Mhm.
the next P. Diddy. Like that was me, right? And then my life changed for the better April 29th, 2004. That was when I got saved, and a couple of years later started a Christian recording company, because I started my first company at age 17 in high school.
Mhm.
So I had an official business license for a recording company as a senior in high school. And then, so I was doing music, and that was my main thing, right? And God had called me out of music into a field I knew nothing about, which was real estate. I didn't know anybody. We grew up in this 3-bedroom, 1 bath, roach infested apartment. Like owning a home didn't even seem possible,
Mhm.
all right, to be honest. And so here it is. I studied and got my license, and started assisting families with purchasing homes, rebuilding credit, and just providing free education, and letting everybody know it's possible, right? That, because we don't have a lack of money.
Mhm.
We just have a lack of knowledge. When you
Correct.
think about, the trillions of dollars that we generate as far as the black dollar, we don't have a lack of money. It's just a lack of knowledge and where we're putting our money at. And so I knew that once I educated enough people, that home ownership would seem to be something that's very likely and possible. And so that's where the real estate side kind of generated from. But I started out as an investor. I started out as one that had a desire to be an investor, to have properties before I even had one, right? And then I just got with the right people, got connected with a mentor, and just went to work. That's pretty much it. And the rest we can say, we've been growing and being able to be a blessing to as many people as possible.
So before we get on to the next subject, I got to rewind a little bit. I love that you said that you love Langston Hughes.
Yes, sir.
And just to give you a little history, that's how I came up with the title of this
Come on,
podcast.
man. Come on, man. Yes, sir.
I study history, and because of my mom being who she is,
Okay.
I study Black history. And one of the times that I'm most fascinated with is Harlem during the Harlem Renaissance.
Right.
So you hit me right up in my soul when you said Langston Hughes,
Yeah,
because
man.
Langston Hughes, Sarah Vaughan, Malcolm X, like all these people hung out together and networked
Yeah.
together before
Yeah.
we really understood what the networking was.
Right.
And yeah, that's it. We got a lot in common.
Absolutely, man. I have family that's in New York, man. So I tell everybody, man, New York is an amazing place for me. I love it. And they're right in Uptown. So whenever I get to go there and just enjoy
Because
the
at
culture.
one time Harlem was similar to like Black Wall Street.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was the
Absolutely.
one corner in New York that we controlled everything.
Right. 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 At 125th Street. And now here's the flip side to the New York Stock Exchange as far as Wall Street in New York. Most people do not know that that was a center of slave trade,
Mm.
right? So Broadway and Wall Street, um, that was where slaves were being traded. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
pretty interesting. So now they trade stocks, but before that, it was trading, Africans. So yeah.
And I hate when people are like, "Oh, you are so race related and you're so militant." It's not just being about being militant. It's about knowing your history and
Absolutely.
keeping it from repeating.
Right.
I think
Right.
it's a double standard that when we're into our history, we are racist, but when they're into their history, they're patriots, even though a lot of the country was built upon our backs.
Right.
Let me stop before I start preaching. Let me
No, you're good. I mean, those are. I think what happens is when people know you as a person, they know your heart, right? Because I have some amazing friends that are white,
Mhm.
right?
Me
But
too. Mm-hmm.
but anytime somebody has to say who they have that's a different color, it's like, well, you don't have to do all of that, right? You don't have to, like, people know your heart, right? And so there are certain things that you can share. And that's, like I said, that's another reason why you look at our wall and it's diverse,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I believe that there's power in diversity, right? There's a tactic of the enemy to divide and conquer, but when we understand how powerful we are as a unit together, there's a lot of things that we can accomplish. So, you speaking of your history, knowing your history, think about it. Our history is the only history that has tried to be erased from the face of the earth, right?
Multiple
Uh,
times.
multiple times, right? So, even when you go to the African American Museum in Washington, D.C., right? I love about 90% of that museum. I love about 90% of it, and I support it wholeheartedly. But we didn't start here in America,
Mm-hmm.
right? We didn't start with chains. We started as kings and queens. And I think that's one thing that was missing in that museum is that people are coming from all over to come in here, and what they should see is images of blacks as kings and queens, right? Prior to coming over on slave ships. Those images are important. Those images are important. When people make statements such as, we had a black president and he didn't do anything for us. I feel differently. He did something that was so powerful for us.
Mm-hmm.
Just the image of him being president
Exactly.
alone
Right.
is powerful, right? And I believe that's what made Donald Trump even think it was possible for him to even win.
I
You see what I'm saying?
totally agree. I
Yeah.
totally
So
agree.
images, when people see that, hey, there's somebody that looked like me that did that. Oh, I can't do that now.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the first, but he won't be the last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I applaud you for standing strong in your faith and being unwavering. That is something to be celebrated, um, because, and it goes to that old saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Right. Right.
So I really applaud you in that, because some people will come and they'll try to push their faith under the rug. And I can tell that your faith is partially, well, a lot of what made you the man that you are today.
It is what made me the man that I am today. You know, when I was sleeping in a car when I was homeless, and I used to say, "This is only temporary. God, I trust you." Right? I know from experience. Like, I'm not one of these guys that say, "Hey, just talk about Jesus just to be talking about him." Like, I know personally what he's done for me, so I'm not ashamed. You know what I mean? And I understand that true success starts there. But it's my life. It's not something that I just put on just to be putting on. I cannot talk about success and not include it. I can't.
So let me ask you this: when I was, before I even met you, and I was
Right.
preparing to come to the crypto party, I said crypto and party. I was like, okay. I got there and I looked around, and it was after hours and it was dark, and I was, where the drinks at? It's no drinks. And then it was like, would you like a coffee or frappe?
Right. Right.
Like anything about you, I assume that was very intentional.
Oh, absolutely, man. And we gotta change the mindset, right? Because of course, if people know that you're going to have alcohol, people know you're going to have all these other things to draw. Like, we want people to see and understand the value in information, right? That people spend money on things, and even when it came to the ticket prices, right? There were some people that was like, man, $50, $200 for VIP, like one of the guys said to me, he said, man, you gonna have some weed there, you gonna have some drinks, you gonna have $200. But the reality is, hey, listen, you spend $50 on something that's not going to add any value to your life, right? So we are here to add some value to you in hopes that what you learn you can take, that's going to be an asset to you and your family. And going somewhere to get drunk is just not going to do that.
And I can't even trip. I had a great time.
Right.
And then I didn't even know about the meal that was included. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoy being around like-minded individuals,
Right.
Networking, having a great time in a great environment. I have no regrets. So with that said, let's segue into how you got into cryptocurrency. Because a little birdie told me that you didn't buy into Dogecoin when they told you to buy into it. LaTroy.
I know. Jordan told you that. So same thing with crypto, right? I had a partner, and I wish I would have listened. I had a partner that I was teaching him real estate, right? He wanted to learn how to flip houses. So I was teaching him how to flip houses. And in return, he was teaching me the foreign exchange market, right?
So Forex was first.
Forex was first. So I became his mentor into real estate, and he became my mentor in the Forex. And this was in 2017, right? So he was teaching me, man, and it was a pretty amazing journey in regards to me learning Forex. And shortly after, I had another partner that was talking to me about crypto, right? Now, I didn't understand it. And I'll be honest, even today, I still don't fully understand.
I'm struggling with it a little bit myself.
I still don't understand it. So I couldn't understand blockchain and, digital wallets and things of that nature. So he would mention it to me. I was like, you know what, man? I said, listen, you do that. Like, I'm good at what I do, and I'm going to just stick to what I know, right? I know real estate. I don't really know this. Like, I know if I take $10,000 or $20,000 and put towards the property, like, I know what this is going to turn into. I don't know what this is going to do for me, right? So, I kind of, say, you know what, this is what I do. I just put some in here that I can afford to lose, and if I lose it, so be it. But what happened was the return was crazy, right? And because I was still skeptical, I took out 90% of my return plus what I put in, right? I took 90% out. I left 10% in. And I wish I would have kept it all in. I wish I would have kept it all in. Lord knows I do. But I didn't. And that was a lesson learned. So even with Detroit, when he was telling me about, the Dogecoin, I was like, man, I'm good, man. Like I ain't, nah, And I said to him, I said, listen, if it come on Coinbase, I get it, right? If it come on a reputable platform, then I'll go ahead and get it, right? And then, but he knows how I am. He knows like I need some facts. At times when it comes to investing, if it's real estate, I can go off the top of my head. But everything else, I'm a little analytical, right? So he gave me some facts. He gave me some articles. He started showing me, who's accepting and where it's going to be accepted at. And I said, you know what? I said, now I see it. Now I see what's about to happen with this thing. And so glad I got involved, man. So it's another stream. That's all. It's just another stream. It's not the main stream, but it's one. It's another stream. Yeah.
My career was primarily IT, and I knew about Bitcoin maybe when it was like 25, 35 cents.
Okay.
I had a partner.
Hold on, brother.
I'm talking about like
5 cents?
Like 15 years ago. It was
That's crazy.
Like the early 2000s. I knew about Bitcoin then, but to me, it wasn't tangible. I had partners who had, because I'm into IT, that were at the time were mining Bitcoin. And I couldn't I wish I could have. I couldn't wrap my mind around that, because it's nothing physical. Right. And now it's at over $35,000 something a coin.
20-some thousand. Mm-hmm.
Man, I could have retired my whole family.
got up to 60,000, like 60 plus.
So I got a little bit. I got a little bit now. I got a little bit of Dogecoin.
Good.
So right now though, it seems like it's so many different coins.
You gotta be careful.
How do you know what to pick? What's going to be? Is it going to be the Shiba coin? Is it going to be? You can tell. I'm looking. I'm watching.
Yeah.
But how do you know what's going to be the next coin to hit?
So you have to do your research, right? You have to do your research, and really, it's the influencers that drive the market, right? Who's actually pushing it? And so, truth be told, you can find yourself trying to chase the next best coin, right? And then you'll find yourself getting into some stuff you shouldn't be getting into. So for me, I would say if you can get your top 5 and just sit on it. Just sit on it. Like, you don't need to try to find out which one, find top 5 coins that you want to get in. Go ahead and invest in it and just sit, let it do its thing, right? Just know that a couple of years from now, you should be looking pretty good, right? But what happens is most people want a major return in 24 hours, right? Nobody believed in practicing patience and letting it mature. They want it right now. Hey man, I just put up $1,000, man. When am I get 3,000 back or 10,000 back? Nah, it takes time. It takes time. So yeah.
So what are your thoughts on NFTs?
To me, it's crazy. Like, I can make an NFT out of this mango smoothie I'm drinking right now, right? I don't understand it. I don't understand how it works. I don't understand why people are willing to pay what they're paying. But, what it does show me also is that there's money that's waiting for a home. There's people out here that just waiting to spend money right now.
Right, because like somebody NFT'd an invisible picture and it went for like $30,000. So that means somebody just had $30,000 just sitting there.
Yeah, just sitting there. Like, that's what I'm saying. There is no lack of money. There's no lack of money. There's lack of knowledge, right? And so the question that you have to ask yourself is, how are you going to tap into what's out there? What are you going to do? What problem are you going to solve? How are you going to tap into what's out there? Because people have it and they are ready to spend it. They're ready to just give it. But how are you going to position yourself to get it? And that's key. And that's important. So yeah, I really don't have too much. When it comes to NFTs, if I have my partner Andrea in here, she'll probably tell you some things. She
I
probably
met her
knows.
that night. She's a fireball.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you too much about NFTs.
Yeah. So since we're talking about financial come ups, I made a nice little come up over the pandemic, and I think a lot of people did with just stocks. And I'm really interested because I looked at it as a once in a lifetime opportunity. Because all of the travel stocks went down. So, I put a couple hundred in and I was like, I'm gonna chill. And like you, I took some of it out when it started rising. I wish I would have
Right,
let it sit there.
right,
So, and
right.
that's teaching me now that the money that I have in there now, I don't even want to look at it for 5 years.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. It shows that you can actually create your own, 401k.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to rely on some company, some brokerage to do it for you. If you can just
But
learn.
I feel some kind of way because I'm the type of person, even not even talking about stocks, with anything in life. If I buy something at one price, I refuse to buy the same product at a higher price. And I got in some of these stocks that's so low.
That's not so. Think about it.
But it's hard to generate, like, all right, for example, Carnival.
Yeah.
I bought Carnival stocks for like $10, $11,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that during normal times, they're at least $60. And right now, I haven't looked at it today. It's like 30 something dollars. So I've already doubled my money plus.
Right.
I don't think it's ever going to be a period again where it goes down to $12. So, like we were talking about that night, you kind of got to find your dips and what's acceptable.
Right.
And so I think my cutoff might be, anytime it dips $20, $25, I'll buy a couple shares. But I think my cutoff might be like, once it hits like $40, I don't think I'm gonna buy anymore. I'm just gonna chill with what I got. But I would love to be able to, I think that was all just perfect timing where.
Yeah, it is, but it's psychology, man. It's really based on, I'll give you a prime example. US oil, right? Last year, I believe it was around February, March. US oil. Catch this now. Now, we all could have been millionaires by now had we capitalized on what happened. Hindsight 2020 is the best vision, right? Because no one knows or no one has the ability to foresee what's going to take place in the future, right? So when oil dropped negative, listen to me.
Yes.
In the negative.
And it's important to know your information. Because by the time I found out about it, it was too late. And I was mad.
Right now it's like $71 and some change a barrel, right?
They were giving it away.
But listen to this. Me and my partner was having conversations when it was in the negative and said, hey man, I'm gonna wait to see
what happens.
It's gonna drop a little more before I get in. And it was in the negative, right? So just to think, common sense would have said, bro, what are you talking about? Like, it's in the negative. Like, oil is not going anywhere, right? Like, we're gonna need oil. It's a commodity, right? Go ahead and buy it and sit on it. Then do it, right? Because it was that, it dropped here. Oh, I know it's gonna drop some more, right? And so crisis always produce millionaires. Every single time. True success comes from, when there's a very chaotic situation. That's where people make a lot of money. Wars, produce generate a lot of money. It's crazy, but, lives are being lost and people are becoming billionaires, as a result from it. So that's how it works.
All right. So I end off all of my episodes this way.
Yep.
Let's say a young teenage Domenick from Suffolk came to you and said and wanted your advice, what would you tell him?
So this is what I tell people today, right? Your first purchase need to be a multifamily property. You need to invest in real estate, some form, some fashion. Get in real estate. If I knew back then what I know now, personally, I would have never wasted time trying to be the next rapper, the next music executive. I would not have done it. I would have put all of my energy, all of my time, all of my coins into real estate. That's what I would have done.
Awesome.
So that's what yep. Get your credit straight
Mm-hmm.
and get you some property. So when people call me and ask me questions and say, hey, they want to, mentor, whatever the case may be, that's what I tell them. Hey, Vic, it's tangible. So that's what I would say, Sean. I would tell them to invest in real estate.
Okay. And how can people get in touch with you? What's your website, your socials? How can they get in touch with Mr. Epps?
Yep. So they can go to Domenick, DOMENICKEPPS.com. Go to DomenickEpps.com, WallStreetCafeVA.com, VictoryAllegianceRealty.com. And you can follow me on social media, Domenick Epps. You can just put in Domenick Epps. On Instagram, I'm Domenick Epps, the People's Agent. But yeah, you can reach me, social media, or go to the website.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 757 Renaissance Man, and I am proud to say that I have just finished our website, so you can get our episodes at 757renaissanceman.com. Feels good to be able to say that. It was a long time coming. I want to thank you, Domenick, for taking time out your day and speaking with us. Of course, me and you, we're going to get up offline, definitely. My name is Sean. This is Domenick. 757renaissanceman.com. Black Wall Street Cafe. We are out.